Hello everybody, welcome back to androidhunger.com. Here in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your first Android application. In the previous video, I've showed the demo of the application. Here in this video, we'll code the application and let's get started with Android programming. Okay, first we'll create an application. You can create an application by clicking here file, by clicking file here and new application, so that you can create a new application here. And after creating, you can write your first application name, my first Android application, and then give your project a path. I will given here this project location and click next. You can here select the minimum SDK. You can, by default it selects something which supports almost 97.4% of the devices. You can also, if you want to develop applications starting from Android version 4, you can select this, but I will leave it as default and click. You can also select these options for TV, wear, all, but we only try this simple application for phone and tablet, so I will leave this like this and I will click next. So you have you have lots of activities to choose. You can have a blank activity, an empty activity, or map activity. You can choose anything, but for now we'll choose an empty activity and we'll go on. Now we will leave this as main activity itself. You can also get an activity name. You can also have an option to generate a layout file or not. That's, however, we need to a layout file, so we will let this generate a layout file for us and click next. So your first Android application will be created. It takes some time for Android to build all this, so stay tuned. In the meanwhile, I will show you, this is the post developing your first Android application. This is the post I have written here in this in my website androidhunger.com. You can visit there and you can see all the description for you can see, go through this post for a post tutorial, and in this video you can see the video tutorial of it. So this is our basic application looks like. It has a edit text and a label. So when we enter a number in this to edit text and press the appropriate button, it shows us the result. So this is all the code part. We will write it now. You can also find all the code in the GitHub here, and also you can download this application for your reference here. I also kept a link for download. So now I think our project is ready. Yeah, it's ready, but it's still running. To process to running gradle builds takes some time. Indexing and gradle building, yeah, let it do it. As you can see, this is the Google Plus page of Android Hunger. Please follow it here. And this is the Twitter page for Android Hunger. Please follow this here. And this is the Facebook page for Android Hunger. Please like it and follow it for all the updates on androidhunger.com website. And you can see this is the project. You can also clone it and download it here. And now let's get started into this developing the application. I think it's still indexing. I think it is almost ready here. By default, Android Studio creates us with these two files. This is the main activity file and one is the XML file which we can write. You can also see the preview here. As you can see here, the preview is loaded. It says hello world. You can also go to the design view and see them. So now this is the basic text. This is the basic text view. So I will use linear layout instead of this relative layout here. We'll just change it to linear layout and we can remove all these things here. For linear layout we don't need these things. As you can see, this error is nothing but our SDK platform is too old. We can update it. There's nothing about this error. We can ignore it. Also we can update it later. So now I'll keep this gravity as center. Android gravity will keep it this as center, and orientation also I'll keep this as vertical. So now we'll just remove this text view, and first we'll design the edit text and the text view. So design the text views and edit text to enter some values. So we'll have, first we should have a text view. Text view, and this width would be and this height and width would be wrap content, and we can give this text as enter your first number, something like that. You can also you can design a text view using this XML thing, and also you can design a text view using this design view. You can drag and drop a text view and work on it. As I said here, enter your first number text view, and you can also drag a text view like this, and you can do on this medium text view, and you can drag this text view like this, and you can work on that, and you can work like that too. Written here, actually we'll copy this medium size and we'll keep this here for our text view. Okay, and now I will just remove this. I will keep what we have written earlier. So after this text view, we need a edit text. So I'll write an edit text here, and this edit text will also have width and height as wrap content, and we can also write some input types, which type of input it takes, that is it's a text field, or it takes numbers or something like that. So as we are calculating two numbers, we need only input type as number decimal. We can keep this as number decimal, so we can enter decimal numbers, and we can enter only decimal numbers. You cannot enter any letters or characters and such. And next, if you see this in our preview, you can see this is text view and this our edit text. They are aligned below each other, so we'll just wrap this this both in another linear layout, so that we can align them horizontally. Now they are aligned vertically, so we'll just wrap these both in a linear layout, and this linear layout would also be wrap content, and height would also be wrap content, and we'll just give one extra attribute to this, that is its orientation, and we'll keep this orientation as horizontal. So now we can see, and now if you can see the preview, this both text view and edit text aligned next to each other. As you can see, this text view, this edit text is a little very small thing, because we have not we'll fix that by giving an Android. We'll have something called EMS. If you give that its value to some algorithm as 10, so if you give Android EMS as 10, now if you check the preview, you can see this aligned to next to each other, and also the aligned perfectly as we need. So now we have to do this similarly for the second layout as well. So we'll copy this, and I'll paste this here. Instead of first number, I'll keep second number. This is second number. And one more thing is, we also have to give some IDs to the text, to this edit text, as we need to get the value of this edit text. We will get these values by using these IDs. So for each edit text, I'm going to give you some ID here. Dot of ID, and I'll give this as second num, that is second number. And for this and for the first one too, now if you can see the preview, you can see enter first number and enter your second number. So basically this part is completed. And now if you see in application, this part is completed, and now we'll go to the next part of creating these buttons here. So now we'll create these buttons. For this we also use another layout to keep all those buttons here. So what we want is we'll keep these two buttons horizontally in one layout, these two buttons horizontally in another layout, and we'll wrap these two layouts in a vertical layout. We can see these two buttons will plus button and minus one will be one layout, this multiplication and division one will be in another layout, and these two layouts will be wrapped in another layout which is vertical layout. I will just show you here. Vertical layout, this linear layout width would be wrap content, and we will add some parameter, and we will add some extra attributes to this. That is, gravity will also add some gravity here, that would be center. And next you will add its orientation, which we discussed, that should be horizontal, that should be vertical. So we'll have first a vertical layout, and in this vertical layout we will have two horizontal layouts for those 4 buttons. So now we will write a linear layout here, which would be a horizontal oriented linear layout, and this layout width and height would also be wrap content. And now we'll give its orientation, what we thought it should be horizontal. And after giving its orientation, now we'll add some buttons here. You can add a button using like this, and these buttons width and height would be also be wrap content, and we'll give some text to this button. This text would be plus, or actually for this addition button we'll keep this button as text, and we'll have another button called plus, and another one will be minus here. Similarly we'll create similar layout for other 2 buttons as well. This would be multiplication, and this one would be for division. Now if you can see the preview, you can see all the 4 buttons align here. These are multiplication and division in one layout, plus and addition and subtraction in another layout. So we finally got this layout. We'll do this styling later first. We finally got this layout, and next we'll also add another text view below it to show the result. After this main layout, we'll write some text view here which shows the result. This width and height would be wrap content. We'll just close this. Wrap content, and its layout gravity would be center. Now if we connect our phone and run the application, you'll see how the application looks like. I'm going to just connect my phone here. And now I will run this application in my phone. See, it says it recognized my phone. I'll say this, use this device, and click OK. Now I'll show it in my phone how this design came out. So this is the app we have got here. You can see these are, we can enter here text, we can enter some numbers here. You can see only we can enter numbers. Because of that edit text, we have kept that as a decimal field, input decimal, and you can see these 4 buttons here. These are our basic design look in the phone. Now we'll go to, and now we'll style these buttons.
make these buttons some bigger in size and change the color of the buttons. We'll go and also we'll write this functionality for these buttons too.
And now we'll style these buttons here, and we'll give a color for this button. That would be Android color, Android text color. Android text color, and this color would be, I'll give this a color accent here. Accent by default Android has three primary colors called color primary, color secondary, and color accent. So I will use this color accent here. That would be something like a pink, and primary and second would be some purplish colors which we have seen in our application. And also we will give some background to this color and background to this button. This background would be something, some color. I'll give some color, some hash color. That would be 9FA8, and DA that would be some bluish, that would be some light bluish color, which I think matches to the original primary color. And also we'll give some, we will increase the size of the texture. As you just saw, the size of the texture is too small, and we will increase but that by using Android text size. That would be for text size we can use SP. They are DP, which are density independent pixels. We can also use SP for text views and all. For increasing size of text views and all, we can use this SP. These are size independent pixels. And we will copy these three to the other button as well. So our buttons are styled. And one more thing is that we have to give some IDs to the button. As we know, when this button is clicked, we have to do some functionality, so we have to give some IDs to the button. So this Android ID would be, I'll give this ID as add here as this addition operation, and we'll go this ID as subtraction, that is I'll give it as SUB. And for this layout, these buttons would, I will give this as multiplication MUL, and for this button I'll give them as div. So yeah, we need also give these three attributes which have designed to these two buttons as well for application. So now I'll run this application on my phone and see.
So now if you see these buttons, we have a background and color to the buttons, and have increased the size of the button, but you can see all these buttons are mixed up. So I'll give some padding and also give some space between these two layouts so that it will look some nice. Okay, let's start with that.
So now I'll also give some overall padding to this of 5 dp. I'll give some Android padding of 5 dp to it. And after this button, so which are oriented vertical to each other, I'll give some space between them. We can give space by using this view, which we can give a width of 5 dp, and the height would be 0. Height would be 0 dp, and in this way we can give a view between those two buttons which lays horizontal to each other, so that we give a width of 5 dp. And similarly to this button as well, to this second layout as well, so that now we can see these buttons are placed with some gap between these two buttons. You can see this is the linear layout we are talking about, and this is the view here between those two. So now we have designed our layout. Now we'll go into the functionality part, that is when this button is clicked, what we have to do some functionality, so that we have to do that. So we've already defined a text view to show the result, so we'll also give some ID to it, result, that is the res. We'll give some result, so we'll give this text view an ID called res. So now we can go into the main activity. So here in this main activity, our content view is set to this activity, to the layout which I have designed. So now we have to initialize these buttons, edit text and text views which you want to use. So I will first write so now I will initialize some edit text here. That would be edit text. So edit text will be import edit text, and we'll use this as first number first, and this would be the first number, and this would we should cast this into edit text, and now we can find that edit text by using find by ID, find view by ID, and we can give here the ID which we are given for the first edit text, that is first num. I think this is the first num. Similarly you can do it for the second one as well, and that would be second, and I would give here as second num. Okay, so now we have initialized our edit text. Now we also need to initialize the 4 buttons which you want to use. These are button for sum, and we need to cast this as button. So we will import that button here, and we'll use sum button equal to find view by ID r.id dot. For addition we used ID called add. Sorry, I think we use sum. We'll just go into here and see. For addition button we used ID called add. So similarly for the other 4 buttons as well. And now we will also initialize the text view for showing the result. That is, we'll initialize the text view here. That will give that variable as result res. So now we have initialized the buttons we need text view and edit text. Now we will perform our operations. That is, when the button sum is clicked, we need to get the values of those 2 edit texts and add it. So we'll do that. We'll use here sum. Actually we are referencing the button here, sum dot. We have to use some listeners like on click listener. We will use set on click listener, and we will use new on click listener here. New on click listener, we'll use a new on click listener, and this will provide us with a function on click view. So it automatically creates this function on click, what we have to do on when this button is clicked. So now when this button is clicked, we will we'll get the value for we'll get those 2 edit text values. That is, we'll write as double f num equal to, we'll get those value by using first. Actually we have initialized that edit text as first. We can get it by first dot get text, so we can get the text of that edit text field, and also we need to convert that to string here. So I will convert that to string here. So now we can similarly for the second field as well. So we got those 2 numbers, and now we'll set the text of the result text. That is, result will be, we initialize that result text view as res. So we'll set that text view using set text. That would be also a string. Actually one thing notice, Actually, one thing to notice, everything in the edit text would be taken as a string. So if we written numbers, decimal numbers or anything, first we have to convert it to string and then operate on it, and also while showing we also need to convert it into string and then show. Value of this you can also directly write you can also directly add here and send them, or you can also store this addition result in separate variable and send. So that's how we'll add this. So it said we have to declare this as a final, so we'll just alt enter and make the res final, and we also need to make this. Okay, we made this final. So now we have written it for sum. Similarly for addition you have to, similarly for subtraction you have to keep subtraction here. For multiplication we'll keep multiplication here. For division we'll keep division here. We will write for all these other three functions as well. This for subtraction, for multiplication, and for division this would be sub instead of sum, and this would be minus here, and for multiplication it would be star here, and for division it would be, yeah. And now if I run this application in my phone and see,
So now if I give some number like 23 and 25 and we press addition, it will show 48, and we press subtraction, it will show -2. It shows multiplication, and division also it shows. That's how our simple basic application works. We have used some edit text views and all those. I think we have finally developed a simple application to get started with Android application. This is a very basic application. This covers how to add click listeners, how to add some edit text views, format them. So this would be very helpful for your future Android application development process.
you can also add some validations to the button. That is when the button is clicked, when any of these 4 buttons is clicked, we need to check whether those 2 fields are empty or not. So I have written some condition here. In either first field is 0 or the second field is 0, we will make a toast to tell them both fields are necessary. Please fill both the fields. You can find this in my GitHub repository here. You can go and find it in my GitHub repository with all those extra validations here. So now also subscribe to the channel, comment, like, share it with your friends. Stay tuned for more videos from AndroidHunger.com. See you. Bye bye.